Hey guys, what's up? It's me. Okay, so in the Bible, in Genesis, Yahuwah the Creator says to his people, his chosen people, the Adamic race, and he says, "You cannot eat of the tree of good and evil, but you can surely eat of any other tree." So, first off, yeah, Adam is a race of people. Eve is a race of people, and this and that's something I just came to knowledge of. But I also knew in the Bible, this is what I'm going to talk about, trees represent people. So I was thinking about that. So when he says you cannot eat of certain trees, like, okay, first of all, we have to know that God makes everything in its order. When we look at everything, he makes the sun, the moon, the stars, and they do their thing all the time. He makes the seasons, and they do their things. They don't change their laws and this and that, right? Like, he makes all those things, and they have their order, and it's to keep everything in balance. Okay, so he created his Adamic race, his specific caretakers, or supposed to be caretakers of this earth, and they were to remain pure and untouched and holy. And he told them, yes, you can't eat of the tree of good and evil, because if you do, you shall surely die, because it will cause an imbalance in the other people and an imbalance in everything else, because they were to be the caretakers, right? So I think about that. So there is a race of people that are good and evil, and the only thing I can think of with that when it comes to that is the race of the white man. I'm the Caucasian or whatever, like, not to be like whatever, and maybe even I think what the Gentiles were created as like the Caucasians and the Asians or whatever. So maybe those are the ones that were the trees of the good and evil or whatever. Sorry, I'm just getting over a cold here and stuff, so I'm all like, didn't mean to snort online, but it's all good. So yeah, now these are my thoughts though. So it's like I have to, you know, don't trust anything I say. You shouldn't trust anything anybody says. Anyways, just do your own research and pray to Yahuwah for the truth, Most High for truth. Don't just take my word for it. Because there are things like for me in my journey, it's like, there are things where I'm like, oh man, like no, that's not truth. Like there's truth and lies and everything, right? Okay, so anyways, but we're all trying to get to the truth of stuff. So yeah, that's what I take it as, because like trees are represented as people. Like, the Bible is so many different levels to Bible, like an onion and stuff. There's so many levels to it, and it also, like I've said this before, it's discerner of thoughts and intentions and your heart and everything. So it will literally bring out who you are. So if you're like you, that's why you see some of these Christians who read the Bible and they're crazy and they're like evil and stuff, and you can see that. Like, I mean, like evil as in you can just, it makes them go mad. Like, mad as in there's were Christians who persecute people, right? Like the Pharisees and stuff. Like, it's, again, it shows the intention and it shows your heart. It shows who you are. So when you read those scriptures, your perception is like revealed, who you are is revealed back to you. So it's like the scriptures is like a supernatural book. It's like it mirrors you. So it's like what you get out of those scriptures shows shows you and everybody else who you are. Do you get what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. I say supernaturally because it is a supernatural book. Now, when you can see these things about yourself, some of these people don't see nothing, but like if you can see things about yourself, like it'll show you things about yourself. You see things, and you can try to change them, right? To the best of your ability to be the best that you can be. Now, I was getting religious with stuff because it's like, and I still can be at times. It's like I get OCD about stuff because, it's like, oh, I gotta have like this, so I have to be so perfect and this and that, and like on my path of trying to be perfect, I'm becoming more bitter and more frustrated, and more this and that, and it's like, and then I'm like, oh, that's how the Pharisees and stuff, and like, it's just too many laws that you're putting on yourself because you start making your own man-made laws about what perfection is and what God sees perfection is. But in the beginning of the Bible, it says Yahuwah made man and woman, and he made everything, and he was great with it. He was pleased with it, you know. And we start to taint stuff like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but like, anyways, like, I think I get the whole thing of like saying you can be freed by the law, but you can also be bound by the law. So it's like, depending on how you perceive it, depending on how you look at it. It's crazy though, you guys. And also too, it's like we all have our rules to play. Just like a bee has their role to play, and an ant has its role to play, a bird has its role to play. And there are different types of birds. So the birds, yes, they all fly, but they all have different roles too. A hummingbird, it has a different role than a blue jay, you know. Like, yeah, some birds pollinate the flowers, and some birds eat the worms, and like, you know, this and that, and like, we don't fully understand everything of why each single bird or variety of bird has their purpose and what is their purpose that they do what they're doing, you know. Like, then we have like fish of the sea and stuff like that, or shrimp and things like that, that like cleanse the sea. They like to eat all the nasty stuff so they can clean up the ocean, but they enjoy that because that's the way God made them, you know. But that's gross. Like, any other thing would be like, that's disgusting. Like, how could you eat that? Like, you know, vultures eating dead flesh and rotting flesh. They enjoy that. The creator made them like that, so to keep up a balance, right? It's like you have to eat that rotting flesh so it won't cause a stank in the everywhere, right? Like, it has to be a balance. So he's creating constant balance between the negative and positive poles of life. So so then I was thinking about that too, when I was like, oh, when I get too religious on stuff, it causes a division within inside herself, okay? And this is what I've been going through, is a division within myself, and it's causing a block for me, and I'm like, I need to let go of this. Like, this is like, I'm kind of stuck right here because I've become too religious, like a Pharisee, and I'm divided within the negative and positive sides of myself because I'm trying to become too perfect that it's causing me to fall. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that you can't, like, I'm not saying you don't do good and stuff like that, but it's like, I don't think perfection is about being perfect. I think it's about being the role that you were supposed to be when the Most High made you, being who you were supposed to be when you came here. So, and what I mean by that, like, it's like, okay, so for instance, now don't get that confused with something. I'm saying, for instance, if God gave you a role, like, let's say you're a female, you have to be that role of a female on this planet. If you start trying to deviate your way and not be that female, you're just going to be causing a lot of complications, and you're going to cause division within yourself, and it's going to cause problems, okay, for you, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So, for instance, my role would be like biggest role would be figure out who you really are, your culture and everything about who you are, or what like, you know, like if you're half European and you're half like native or something, to find out both sides of those things, find out who you are on the inside, and find out who you are on the races of the Most High. Like, for instance, like I said, I think Caucasians are like the good and evil or whatever, and like, and they were supposed to keep a balance between their good and evil type of thing, or like they had the gift of the fire, like. And I really like, I'm not saying this is truth or not, I'm just going on whatever, when I just thought about it now, it just came to my mind. The gift of the fire would be for good and evil, because the gift of fire, like, it can bring you warmth, but it can burn. So if you're irresponsible with the gift of fire, well, then you can destroy things with that, right? So so if you had the gift of the fire, if the white man had the gift of the fire, you have to be responsible for it. But you're gonna, like, it's like on our walk, we have made mistakes. I mean, we have done all the wrong things with it, right? Like, the negative sides to ourselves can be used for positive. You know, like, we can release it in a positive way. And have I released stuff like that in a positive way in my life? Man, you should hear my life story. No, I've done horrible things, and I haven't balanced myself out in ways. And like I said, I'm still like, my problem was to go in one extreme to the other, and it's like, no. It's like, you gotta stop going from one extreme to the other in things in your life. It's like, you gotta bring it together and balance it out, make it one, so that you can become whole. So, I know I sound like I'm rambling, but that's how I do stuff or whatever, so just whatever. So perception is definitely a big thing. And when our perception is fooled, we can perceive life in a whole strange way or whatever, you know, like it could be a whole other way. And when you're perceiving stuff that isn't aligned with what the Creator lined you up to be, then everything just breaks apart. And I'm not saying that it'll never come back together again, because everything works in cycles. It's not, things are never forever. And that's the problem with Christian churches and certain beliefs. It's like they like everything is eternal, yes, but nothing, the cycles and everything in this realm of matter is never, it doesn't stay the same forever, because it goes in cycles. It's like the seasons, right? Like, and there are like 4-year cycles, there's 7-year cycles, and so on and so forth, and there's like 1,000-year cycles. And there's always, like, to me, I feel there's always a winter, fall, spring, and summer in these seasons of lives of civilizations. And so, meaning that it's like, well, pay attention, you know what winter pertails, or I mean, I don't know why I said pertails. You know what, you know what winter is. You know what, like, comes with winter, right? You know, like, you know, it's cold. You know, it's everything usually dies in winter. You know, like, oh, sorry, my phone's gonna die here. You know, it's not like you know, it's not. Some days are nice and beautiful though. It's not like just always crappy and stuff. But like, um, but during that time, everything is in hibernation, and like a lot of animals are in hibernation and sleeping, and like it's just a state of like sleep and death and coldness and like um but at the same time when you look at it at a different level, it's recreating at that moment in the time of death. Like it's actually recreating um because slowly as spring starts seeping in and it's going back and forth between spring and winter, then new life springs forth from that. Um so yeah, like so life can be like that. So um it's just like I was living my life like all good and everything like that, and then I hit a point where I fell into drugs and alcohol, and like I just completely destroyed my life and this and that. And then I got better and all that kind of stuff, and I thought things were going good, and then all of a sudden everything just plummeted, and like and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I'm having this internal, and I'm like, I'm divided within my house, like in my temple. I'm like fighting this like thing, and like, what am I fighting? Like, you know, and it's like, well, I'm fighting pieces of myself, but like, you know, if you can't accept one side of yourself, then you're always gonna be left with like feeling divided, right? It's like you gotta have to be able to accept both sides of the coin. I mean, you take that coin, you can't just take that one side of the coin. How is that gonna work? The coin fits together as a whole. So it's like you can't just strip one side of that coin and be able to use it. It's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna work. So, you know, these are things like from my own experiences, what I'm experiencing, you guys. And like I see online, it's like I don't know what people are experiencing here actually. It's like I should ask some people in my life right now. Not just online, because there's a lot of lies and crap online too, but what they're experiencing right now in their lives, right? It's like I know certain people that like, you know, they're just living their lives how they've always lived their lives, right? What I'm talking about is like online I see a lot of stories of people experiencing these supernatural things, and a lot of their experiences are experiences I've been experiencing. I think again it comes down to again it's a belief. It's a belief. It's what you believe, right? Um, because there are people who don't believe in anything and they are unfazed or untouched by anything. Like I mean like by anything that would be like supernatural. For instance, like my mom experiences things different than I experience things. So she experiences things and I don't see what she sees. I don't see anything that she sees. What she shows me, she's like, oh, there's a person standing there and they're saying this and that. I'm like, I don't see that person. But I hear things, I've heard things, and I've experienced things that she doesn't. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's an individual experience. And so who are we to be ignorant of every single person's experience? Because it's based on what they believe. And who are we to get mad at them for what they believe? Because everybody here is trying to figure out stuff. And again, we all come from different circumstances. It's like we come from different parents. We come from different DNA lines. We come from different personality traits. We come from different experiences. So it's like we come from different things. Like we've watched different shows. We listen to different types of music. Like, and all those things have been influences on our mind and our subconscious mind and how we perceive life and the things that we experience. And some of us, and I'm like, this is true, this is just the way that the Most High Creator had made us, some of us are more susceptible to having a stronger belief thing to be like, to like literally like perceive what we believe. Like You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, so for instance, if you're like someone like, okay, like for instance, someone you just started watching, started believing in ghosts and all that kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden you start experiencing seeing ghosts and this and that, and pretty quickly that you start believing. But then you end that, and then you start believing auras, and then you don't hear ghosts anymore, but now you're seeing auras over everything, and it's just quick. Now some people have that ability, and now that can be called a gift and a curse at the same time, because it's like, well, you know, depending on what you believe, and then, you know, and your influences around you, right? It could cause chaos in your life. But if you can learn that, and over time, and you might experience things that are chaotic, and you might experience things that are hard, and then hopefully you can find a root within yourself, and to root into that, and then you can use that, harness that power for the betterment of all, right? For the betterment of first for your health, for you and your family, and for the rest of people going out. Hopefully you can. And not everybody makes it, and that's a sad thing. And I know, like, people have killed themselves over these things. They've been feeling alone in themselves, and they've committed suicide because they don't know how to talk to a society that doesn't understand these things. They're ignorant of these things. They laugh and mock about these things. They get violent about these things. They get mad at people like that. They don't understand it. So these people are alone, right? Do you know what I mean? And it's just, we just gotta stop that. Like, we just gotta stop that. There's more to the human body. The human body is powerful. God's power is beyond, but God's power is supernatural more than you realize, because it's like you have a gland. You have many glands in your body that secrete these fluids constantly. Where is that never-ending fountain of fluids coming from? Do you ever question that kind of stuff? It has to be supernatural. It's like you don't have just buckets and buckets within this small confined body. You got like bodies and bodies of water within inside this temple. How is that possible? It's not, unless it's supernatural. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm talking about all those tears that you cried over all those years. Man, you would have filled up your body right now. You would have been full of water. You would have been drowning in it. But no, you're not. Do you get what I'm saying? Just something to think about, you guys. Get out of your boxes. There's far more. And quit judging what people are going through. You see someone, look at that beautiful butterfly. You don't see that butterfly. So what? That person's not harming anybody. They're enjoying themselves. Why not? No, I get it. Like, yeah, if someone's in trouble and in need, and they're showing signs that they're going to, like, hurt or something, then yes, okay. Then get them help. They need help then at that moment, yes. But if someone seems like they're crazy to you and all this kind of stuff, but they're loving and all that stuff, well, then just whatever. Don't be mean to them. Don't try to take away their family from them, calling them crazy and stuff like that. It's like they're not harming anybody. You just don't understand. And you know that part that you reject about that person, you're rejecting some part of yourself within you.